Anyway, so this is how a hypothetical network of mine could have developed and how I'm going to try and explain it to you. All right, so first we have me. All right, there's me. And then let's say I've got, we'll say wife. We'll just say kid. All right. So these three right here, this is my network I'm starting out with. What they're good at, what they're interested in, what we're all capable of together. That is our network or cell or whatever you want to call it. So you've got, that is your one cell. Let's circle it in a different color. We'll say, there we go. Different color here. This is a cell. Through the course of, we'll say, my Substack, I meet a guy, met him on Substack. Seems pretty awesome. Through the course of me talking with him, I find out that he is really big into mutual aid, wanting to help people out. We either have an intermediary that maybe an organization he's part of that we can connect through and vet each other through. But anyways, he's got a certain set of skills. There he is. Now he has become part of, technically gonna start being in this group, but he's got his own, stuff out here. Got to be able to switch my colors back and forth. But he's going to have his own, network of people over here that he's got, and we're going to be able to pull back and forth from those resources. And maybe something forms from that, and maybe it doesn't, something formal, but that's a cell. Then maybe, let's just say I went to a protest in, maybe let's say Washington, D.C. on March 14th, last month. Real learning experience. But let's say there I got in with some people who were also traveling to the location. Did not interact with them directly on the fly, but met them on site, and through our conversations we have some mutual interests and stuff. So they pop up over here. I'm supposed to be able to tap twice and have the eraser, but sometimes it doesn't want to operate. But let's see, for example, Splinter. I met this old guy from West Virginia. His name was Splinter, and this dude here has, let's say his interest is more unions and getting them involved in what's going on with legislation with them, or whatever the case is. But you get the point. He is now, I'm done with the different colors of green. He's now circling in here. There's going to be all sorts of, let's see if I can scroll this. There we go. There's going to be all sorts of carryover here. But in the course of all of that, this is how you're building your connections. I guess I should say there is this really cool organization that I've been a part of. Let's group that in here since we haven't made this clear enough already. I'll add more things to it. So a couple months back, I started seeing these really cool videos from this group, and I started partying with them a little bit online. Now, obviously, oh man, Hell's Bells by Lucifer's Beard. Shit. All right. So I meet the Justice League. Totally cool, everybody. Wonder Woman's my absolute favorite. I meet them. They're obviously going to be this even larger organization. So if we were to do this to scale, I would shrink down a bit. And actually, I think I can do that. Holy crap. There we go. So let's see if we can shrink it. Nope, it's not going to let me do it that way. So let's try it this way. There we go. Gosh dang it. All right. Try it again. Resize. And then we resize. There we go. Okay. So now, this is how everything's looking. Move this over here. And it opens up a whole list of resources that maybe we didn't have access to because obviously these guys are a much larger organization and everything. But at the same time, I'm going to keep my cell over here, which is what I'm doing. Even though I help out with some organizations here and there, I still have my own network of people that I'm working on my own goals for. Because let's say the Justice League, they're going to have all sorts of things that they're wanting to get involved in that maybe I don't have the time, energy, or maybe I don't believe in those particular causes. So this allows all of us to be somewhat autonomous, but still be contributing towards a greater organizational effort when it makes sense. So this is how my network has been developing, and it's not pretty, but I wanted to just kind of break that down to describe to you guys, because I know a lot of people think more in terms of these larger organizations like Indivisible. People think in those terms, but it's not going to be a war won that way. We're not going to have mass on mass crazy stuff unless we get like 1,000 some odd crazies like the MAGA crowd had on January 6th. That's just not going to get it done. We have to get it done like this. We have to network. We have to find the holes in our own resources, find the things that we have to contribute, and then exchange those with these other nodes and cells and organizations. And I hope I've made a little bit of sense. I've been trying to put it to words, like written words, and as you can tell, it's not working for me very well, even in spoken words. So trying to put it into writing has been really difficult for me. Maybe if you want to reach out to me and bounce some hypotheticals about what you see your network looking like right this moment, maybe I can provide some insight into things you're not looking at right now that you should. Or maybe you're going to help me out because I've got blind spots like crazy, and this is how I figure them out. Finding people to put eyes on my ideas and make sure that they make sense and that they're going to be useful or productive. Okay, so that's all I've got. I'm going to edit and slash the hell out of this video and maybe add an animation or two to make it look a little bit better. But this is what we've got to work with. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope I've helped some. And this isn't the end of the conversation, so let's keep talking.